Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Is that a Bitcoin? Are you happy to see me?
Proud of yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, master, you lost your arms in battle.
What are you doing?
Cut that out.
No, we're not. I'm leaving that in.
Oh, but you're growing a nice set of breasts.
Welcome to Talk Bitcoin to Me, a down and dirty podcast to get nitty gritty with the booty. A space for folks to learn about Bitcoin without feeling stupid. Please note, we are not financial advisors any more than your favorite murder podcasters or licensed detectives, so please don't mortgage your house on our advice. Thanks. We have an incredibly exciting treat for our listeners. We had a custom theme song made for us by our friend Scott.
It's amazing.
And we're going to play it for you now. And if you're afraid of earworms, you should probably pause and skip.
Talk bitty, talk bitty too. Talk bitty to me. Not financial advice, just a conversation. Explain it like a Bob and give me the information. Financial freedom and justice for all. Ooh, talk bitty to me.
Guys, is that not amazing?
Oh, it's better than I could have hoped for. It's
I freaking
so good.
love you, Scott. We can't wait to use this throughout.
Ooh, talk bitty to me.
On this short little episode, we're going to be talking about two things. The privilege behind financial discussions, and also what the fuck are NFTs?
Why don't we start with taking on the financial privilege topic? This all kind of started, Kaylee and I were just like hanging out on the couch talking about like, what do we want to talk about on episodes? And then, I don't know, one thing led to another.
We were brainstorming, like maybe we should cover, some things that are maybe not just Bitcoin, but like finance. Like what's the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA? And then what are the ones that people leave out of that conversation? And then we were realizing, man, we don't know a lot of these answers. So if we don't even know the answers to the questions, what questions do we not even know to ask? And like, we have every privilege in the world regarding this. I mean, besides the fact that we weren't born into like drug lord families.
Yeah,
we have pet
but
tigers.
we were born in the U.S. as white.
And we're hetero.
And
we're married. So
married.
we look very
We weren't born
trustworthy. We weren't
married.
born married, but we both identify cisgender.
Yep. We both were in, middle class families.
Intact families. And we both received college educations and we received family help with our education.
So like already all those things.
So much privilege.
Like set us up. To me, it's interesting because even with all of those things, you still could not have a clue what's going on with this stuff. So then take away those privileges.
Yeah, just erase one at a time.
Yeah.
And go on down the list. And
it just gets exponentially harder in a multitude of ways.
But what's crazy is that we had access to everything. We had access to great education. We had access to college. We had access to parents and family and friends. We have access to knowledge. We have time in our day to like look at knowledge and seek it out. But
that's a big one.
Didn't.
Really.
Yeah, but it's not like we just walk around going, oh yeah, the APR and the national CPI and the inverse rate of negative inflation. I mean, we don't know what that is. So like, who does?
I don't know what that last one was.
I think I'm just kind of making sense.
I know, I liked it though. I liked it.
But I feel like when you ask, okay, well, if Kaylee and Matt, who have all the privilege in the world, don't know, who does? And the answer is people with even more privilege.
Yeah.
And like, that's mind blowing.
Not everyone that goes into finance automatically, you should assume, started with privilege.
Of course.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. But it does make it exponentially easier.
I'm saying anyone who has all the check boxes that you and I have.
Right.
And knows it.
Yeah.
It's because they had even more access than we did, which is
Finance
unimaginable.
Bros,
yeah.
right?
And so I feel like I want to normalize needing financial literacy as adults because we need all kinds of literacy as adults. I mean, we're all unlearning tons of behaviors and relearning and just being called out and called in for a lot of our problematic behaviors that are just rained upon us in society. It's not our fault. It's just our responsibility.
And the way that it is Frankenstein together benefits those that are already in the know.
Yeah. And
so
I
how
feel
frustrating that's
I want to like watch two
so
finance people have a conversation and then actually like watch them both have like a jury on either side going, no, you actually misunderstood that. You need to go back. Because when I watch two people with access talk about finance, they muscle me out of the conversation in the first 30 seconds. I need a translator.
Oh man,
And-
I can't tell you how many times that I've been like so excited to listen to a podcast.
And then,
I'm
this happened to you and I like last
I'm
week.
going to learn about bond yield curves today. I'm so excited. And then I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know.
I turn it off and I get really distracted,
Well,
and I
either turn it off and don't look back, or I'm like, well, I'm going to go read for 12 hours this week
and
on this
sort
stuff.
of understand 10% what
And
I'm
yeah.
doing. I just want to make sure that everybody who's listening understands that, like, the reason we're explaining Bitcoin and not, home ownership or credit cards or whatever is because I feel like the people who don't day trade or the people who don't manage their own stock portfolio is actually a lot of people. And instead, what they are taught to do, like us very recently before we got into this stuff, is just save your dollars, like save them, have a savings account. You need a savings account, and you do. But when you keep all your wealth in one asset, that's already risky because that's all your eggs in one basket. But when you keep it in government currency, it loses value over time. It's punishing the savers among us.
Yep.
And so I just feel like we need more financial literacy out there, and we need people who are not embarrassed. I am not embarrassed to admit when I don't know things. I'm not. I don't care.
Step one, right?
Yeah.
Just don't care. Just
But
be
anyway,
wrong.
We also
I'm wrong all the time, man.
want to take this opportunity to be like, whenever we talk about things, we are talking through our privilege. Like,
we have everyone has a certain lens, their perspective on the
Yeah.
world. And like, I can't get rid of my lens.
I can just try to look at
I can
it
try
all
to,
the time.
I can try to realize other people's perspectives and their lenses. And no one comes from the same perspective.
And now a word from our sponsors. Guys, we want to kick you over to Kernel Modular, Kernel Modular. And just like they sound, but maybe you don't know what the word modular means, because this is Explain It Like I'm 5. Modular means like piecemeal, like Legos are modular. It's not like one giant installation. So meaning you get to pick and choose what your shelves are going to
Mix
look
and
like.
match.
Yeah. Are they going to be this high? Are they going to be this tall? Are you going to have your tall wine bottles on this shelf and your short little spices on this shelf? Are you going to have your records sitting upright or flat? Kernel Modular is going to help you get set up. And if you head to their website, you'll get a discount with...
Bitty bitty bum bum.
We also need to kick you guys over to Redeemer so that you stop taking any kind of painkiller that is not their CBD capsules. They're incredible, woman-owned, LGBTQ-owned, family-owned. They're rolling their own joints. They're harvesting their own CBD out of their own hemp. It's incredible. We worship it. Head over to redeemersmallbatch.com and use the code TalkBitty15 to get 15% off on your order. They have these awesome CBD drops too if you're into creating CBD cocktails, if your dry January is stretching into February and March. Guys, head over there. They're awesome. We love them and we use their stuff, so we're speaking from the heart.
The other thing we're going to talk about today is NFTs. That's like a big buzzword thing. It's related, it's tangential to Bitcoin and blockchain tech. And we just feel we've been fielding like questions left and right about it.
I
So we
actually
thought
think that you're watching blockchain technology play out in real world and pop culture, and you're just going to keep seeing more of this, and it's just going to bolster the case for Bitcoin. So I think it's I don't think it's tangential. I think it's
directly
a child.
related.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I think you're going to learn in this episode that I don't know exactly how I feel about NFTs. So, but we'll get to that.
You are like a little cagey about it. I'm excited to dive in.
I've just seen a lot of these bubble things, and some of them have value, but the value isn't expressed till later. But we'll get into it. Moving on to the nerdy stuff.
To the stuff that's been like all over the headlines. Like one of my friends texted me an image on her TV screen that said non-fungible tokens, and she'd circled the word fungible, and she was like, I know I've heard this before because of your podcast, but I don't remember what it is.
So let's talk about the definition of a non-fungible token. Fungible is a property of money, a money.
Yep.
And it basically means what, Kaylee?
It means it's one-to-oneable. Like, two people would happily trade dollar bills because $1 bill is not worth more than another dollar bill.
But if I had a diamond and you had a diamond, and I was like, yeah, but this diamond weighs just the exact same as your diamond.
I'd be like, that diamond has a huge hole in it.
Those diamonds
Yeah.
would be non-fungible.
Non-fungible.
They'd be non-fungible.
And so, like, people are non-fungible.
Our cats
Houses
are
are non-fungible.
Yeah, houses are a great example of something non-fungible. Not every house is different.
And crypto is fungible. Like, one Bitcoin if you and I sat down and was like, give me your Bitcoin. Okay, I'll give it to you for 1 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
All right, great. Conversation
Even though you
over.
can, since you can track all Bitcoins that were spent and stuff, people do argue that there can be dirty Bitcoins if you know that they were used for illegal purposes.
Right,
Kind
just
of like
like-
cocaine on dollar bills.
Yeah.
But like people still are like, give me your dollar bill. I don't care if it's cocaine.
It's still gonna.
It's a debated point. People
a
shouldn't.
non-fungible means it's unique. So here, if you hear the word non-fungible, it means it's a unique thing. All diamonds are non-fungible because all diamonds are unique.
Yep.
And then when you hear the word token, what should you think, Matt?
That it's digital. That it has to do with a cryptocurrency. Most non-fungible tokens. And this is going to get complicated for like half a second. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready.
But it's called a token instead of a coin because it functions on top of another blockchain, which is the Ethereum. Right now, they're all the NFT craze right now is the way that Ethereum builds these things called smart contracts.
Oh God, what?
I know.
What? Okay, wait.
Smart contracts.
Wait, no. What's Ethereum?
Oh man. Okay. So Ethereum is another cryptocurrency. Okay, kind of like Bitcoin. The purpose of Bitcoin and the purpose of Ethereum have very different directions.
Right.
And this is all hotly debated. Okay, not everyone's going to agree with this statement.
Yeah, we've
whatsoever.
talked about doing a whole episode on just Ethereum.
Okay, but Bitcoin is like widely trying to be money.
Right.
Okay. Ethereum is more trying to be a facilitator for
Agreements, online
for
agreements.
smart contracts. It's trying to be like a platform. It would help facilitate smart contracts, which are going to be used in something that is also another hot topic right now, which is DeFi, which I'm sure is going to be talked about more in the coming years.
What is DeFi?
Decentralized finance. So it's like where you don't need a lot of the intermediaries. You
Which
need
is one of
now.
the main reasons, like Bitcoin's a huge part of DeFi. You can't talk about DeFi without talking about Bitcoin because it's talking about an ecosystem where we start imagining what financial interactions look like without a third party.
Yeah. Well, it's been argued that you can't build smart contracts on
What's a smart contract?
Bitcoin.
You keep saying that.
A digital agreement that you have to sign, that it's like cryptographically signed.
So,
We're getting in stuff that,
I
like,
actually know what a
honestly-
smart contract is, so I'm going to explain it a little bit more like I'm
please.
5.
I love it.
Okay, so if Matt and I want to sign a paper contract right now, and we want it to have like conditions. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna sell you this cat. We have a cat on our couch right now. I'm gonna sell you this
She's
cat
chilling.
as soon as she wakes up. As soon as she wakes up, I'm gonna sell this cat to you. Okay. Well, who's gonna make sure that I honor this contract? Well, we need a third person. We need like a notary or a witness or
An
whatever.
oracle is what they're known as for
okay.
smart contracts.
And we need that person to sit here and go, oh, she's awake. Kaylee, sell her to Matt, or we're going to have legal proceedings. A smart contract, because it's digital, because it's cryptographically secured, and because it's fundamentally a piece of code, okay? It's a piece of code. You can program conditions into it.
Right.
So you can program when cat wakes up,
Yes.
transfer Kaylee funds to Matt.
But how do you prove when the cat waked up? And that's when
Waked up.
When the cat has awoken.
How do you prove when that cat wakes
But
up?
listen now. But
We're from
seriously,
Georgia.
right.
But
It's called the oracle problem.
That's a bad condition because that exists in real
Well,
life.
then you get into like how they're trying to. There's solutions to go through that problem that has to do with like rep scoring, where like there's a whole like party of people that are oracles that like
witnesses.
vote.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I don't care about that,
Anyway,
and nobody else does either.
We're going way down
What
there.
I'm saying a smart contract is more like, hey, when I send you this thing and it hits I'm going to do that through a blockchain, so everyone's going to be able to look at it and see if I sent you this file, and everyone's going to be like, oh yep, I mined that transaction, and that file ended up in Matt's wallet. Therefore, it triggered Matt's wallet sending money on that blockchain to Kaylee. That's a smart contract.
Yes. So they talk about eventually you'll be able to have all, and I remember hearing about this years ago, like you'll be able to have real estate agreements on smart contracts, and you won't need so many people involved, and it'll also be a streamlined process.
Yeah, which
for
will
the
save you a ton of
paperwork,
money.
for the way the money's set up, for the financials.
Because by the way, I don't own a home, but I hear that a shit ton of the money that goes into it is just to like pay for the process.
Yeah, I mean, this is set to disrupt essentially every industry that touches any kind of contract.
Yeah, it's decentralized finance. Okay, I'm going to pause and we're going to review so far what we know.
Yeah.
Non-fungible token is a unique digital thing. Okay, you can't trade one for one. It's a unique digital thing. It's happening on a blockchain, and if you don't know what blockchain is, go listen to our previous episode. But just as a reminder, blockchain is a codable way for there to be a public ledger that everyone is verifying and everyone has eyes on. And it's very difficult to hack because it's like happening in a train. Okay. Ethereum is a type of blockchain technology that's not really trying to be money. Bitcoin's trying to be money.
Some people argue it's trying to be money.
Okay,
by the
sure.
way.
And it is value. It has valuation.
It has value.
What's
to
Ethereum?
it. It's an asset still. Like it has
What's
a
one
price.
Ethereum worth right now?
I don't know, something like 17 or 1800.
And you're probably listening and you're
US
going,
dollars.
how can it be traded like a coin when it's not trying to be a money? I don't know either. Okay. I don't really care.
I mean, some people say it is trying to be a money. It's trying
Sure.
to be everything.
Awesome. But we're talking about it in this use case about non-fungible tokens because Ethereum is the blockchain that is most popular to use when you have a contract.
Yeah,
when
so all these-
it's like an if-then situation.
So all these tokens, whether they're NFTs or all sorts of other cryptocurrencies that people don't realize they're actually working on top of Ethereum's blockchain. They don't know that, but they are.
They're using
They
that
exist on
technology.
top of Ethereum.
Yeah.
Like long story
you say
short.
that, Matt, when you say something exists on top of Ethereum, you basically are saying they're using Ethereum's structure to
Like-
work.
Like Microsoft Word works on Windows.
Okay.
Right? Like I have to have, well, actually now it can work on, you get the point though. Like
No, I don't.
it's a program that works on top of another program. Like the operating system is Ethereum and Microsoft Word is like the
The
smart
app.
contract.
Or whatever. Okay. I sort of understand that. But anyway, bottom line is that NFTs are being traded amongst person to person through smart contracts via Ethereum.
Yes.
Okay.
Long story short. So that's kind of like the super nerdy part. So let's just like go like a little higher level.
Yeah, 'cause
like,
no one cares
like
about what you're
NFTs and like why they're like all of a sudden
Okay.
everywhere.
So NFTs are pieces of digital art or artifacts. And I'm going to call them artifacts and art pretty interchangeably, even though you can have a painting that's a JPEG. You can have a video that's like a sports moment. You can have an original GIF, like the Nyan cat, if you know what that is. If you don't, it's fine. But like the original GIF or the original meme or an original album by Kings of Leon or whatever, you can be the owner of an original digital piece.
Like the way that it's unique is that you can prove that you're the owner of it, and
Because
it's
of the
almost
blockchain.
Yeah, and it's like there's a signature on it. It's like if I went to buy a CD, everyone's can get that CD, but mine's got the signature of the artist that made the CD or the
Right.
painting.
And some people would be like, why would I care about buying a piece of digital art? Art to me is physical. It's to hang. Well, there you
It's
go.
it's
You're not
super
going to have anything to
debatable.
do with
Yeah.
NFTs. You don't
well,
care.
maybe
Maybe,
not.
but maybe not. Maybe
because
not yet.
because I think we're looking at the super earliest
Yeah, I want
use cases.
everyone
Like
to
we're seeing
remember
people
when,
tweet.
like-
People are putting their tweets as NFTs.
Yeah,
so
like
you can
Jack Dorsey sold the first tweet that he did where he was like just setting up Twitter.
Yes, and like someone bought the tweet for I don't even know some
like probably
ridiculous
like
amount of
millions.
money.
And they Christie's, which is like a reputable auction house of fine art, recently auctioned off an NFT that went for like what, $69 million. Mm-hmm. I think that we could talk about how ridiculous that is. If you're like in the camp where you're like, that is ridiculous, then you probably also thought eBay was pretty stupid when it was coming around and people were like buying Rare Kool-Aid flavor packets. So you probably have
Oh
always
my
thought this is
God.
dumb. Okay,
I don't know. I might pay a lot for like what's the one? Oh man, from Ghostbusters. I can't think of the name
Oh
of it
yeah,
now.
I remember that. Yeah, guys, did you know that there's like this huge underground market for Kool-Aid rare trading packets? Anyway, if you are one of those people that's like, I would never spend that much money to get a rare baseball card or like a Pokemon card or
I think
flashback to Beanie
baseball
Babies.
cards, great example. Pokemon cards, like those are
If those have
physical,
always
but if
been
they were
things
digital,
that you were
yeah.
like, I would never, who cares? Then you're probably not going to care about the current craze of NFTs right now.
Right, but they can go so much deeper, I think, and that's like where I think it's going to get super interesting.
But I'm worried that you're going to say your cool thing first, so I'm going to say my dumb thing
What is
first.
okay?
Do you want me to whisper it to you? One of the cool things is that finally, and we were listening to a cool podcast about this that we'll put in the show notes, but finally, digital artists, like people who don't create fine art or sculpture or painting or oils or whatever, They now have a place to legitimize the sales of their art. And guys, this is what's so cool about smart contracts. Remember how they're programmable, they're code? Well, you can program royalties into the smart contract.
So when it gets traded and stuff, is that what
yes,
you mean?
the artist, it's like coded in that the artist's wallet should always receive X% or a portion of or whatever. It's written into the blockchain that they will be paid.
Wouldn't there be ways around that though? Like, couldn't I say like, Kaylee, I'm gonna give you this, but I'm not gonna like charge you on the blockchain, but like you're gonna slap me some money.
100%, and that happens with like other fine art. I mean, like the
under the
certificate of
table.
ownership, or like a deed to a car, or a deed to a house. I mean, the same shit is fake.
But even
it's actually
but
harder
actually,
to fake on a blockchain.
Yeah, you're right. Because for fine art, the original artist actually never receives
Never.
any
They
royalties.
are lucky if they sell
The original
their art
artist has always
at
just
all.
gotten what they've gotten for the first sale.
Yeah, and then
when
if
they
their
sold
art
it.
appreciates over time, they don't see anything from that.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool.
That's really cool. That's actually.
It's also really a cool way to directly support some digital artists. Like if you
This goes for music too. Speaking of digital art.
YouTube artists,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
blog
Mhm.
writers. If people are like
Oh, I did see the blog thing.
not publishing their work except online, you could buy the NFT, the non-fungible token, the unique certificate of ownership of a blog. So I feel like NFTs are pretty fascinating, even if you're not like trying to buy any. I'm not trying to be up in here buying any NFTs, but I think they're really cool that digital artists have a place to sell their art, like fine art. This is a big moment for artists.
Yeah.
That a JPEG sold for $69 million at Christie's because it's an original piece of art.
Yeah, I think it's probably just the beginning of this, and I think it's gonna be like a craze thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it might calm down.
Do you remember a few years ago where like before the term NFT was a term, but there was Kitties? Do you
I remember
Kitties?
CryptoKitties.
So Kitties was the
Like
first
crypto Tamogatchis.
was like kind of the first NFT. It was like, yeah, they were like Tamogatchis, and it was like the first thing that
If
was
you don't
on
know
the
what a
Ethereum.
Tamagotchi is, it's this like 90s toy that you carried around. It was like a keychain shaped like an egg, and it was a miniature video game where you, the human, were the owner of this little baby pet, and you would like feed it and change its diaper and like water it, and it would tell you when it needed things, and then you would go to school and they wouldn't let you have your Tamagotchis, and your Tamagotchi would die in the middle of the day.
So the CryptoKitty, what was interesting, they were digital. It's a digital little cat, that you could go to this website and be like, there's
my cat.
You could prove that cat is yours. No one else owns this cat. But it got interesting because you could sell that cat.
Yeah, you could trade.
You could trade it for Ethereum. Like right there.
People would like build a CryptoKitty and be like, look at what this cat can do. Look what I programmed it to do.
But not only
And then-
that, then you could take your rare cat and then take someone else's cat and buy it and then mate them and make
Guys,
new
there's weird
crypto-
shit on the internet,
And
okay?
I mean, it was getting ridiculous.
We didn't like do this. We don't want you to think that we're like
I
weird
did go to the
CryptoKitty.
website
Please.
and
God.
like lurked around for a little bit. Like,
You're
what the
so
hell
weird.
is going on? I
Okay,
gotta know. What
but
this is.
this is actually really cool because this does lead into where I think the future of NFTs is headed, and this is what I
Yes.
want you to talk about.
I mean, I could talk
Idle
about this all day,
predictions.
and let me say, who knows, guys? This shit is brand new.
Guys, we're seeing
I
a
don't know.
huge change though. Do you guys remember when Etsy came on the scene and we were like, wait a minute. We can like peer to peer buy and sell our wares. That's why we're so excited about, because this stuff is actually like coming to way bigger levels. And
Yeah.
so like this is peer to peer art trading that's not just, oh, look at that sculpture with the arms cut off.
Yeah. The bust. Oh, master, you lost your arms in battle.
What are you doing?
Cut that out.
No, we're not. I'm leaving that in.
Oh, but you've grown a nice set of breasts. It's from
It's from
Robin
Robin
Hood
Hood
Men
Men in
Tights.
Tights. Oh my God. Where is the one who
we need to watch this soon. We did not know it's going to go in this direction. I'm so happy.
So sorry. Bring us the
Okay, sorry.
gospel of the future of NFTs.
Okay.
And if you know me, you know that I'm super into esports as the future. And so this is why I get really excited.
Yeah, so I don't even know where to start because there's so many things I want to
Why don't you
say,
start
and I
with
can't
Fortnite?
say them all. Well,
Just talk about Fortnite. People who don't play Fortnite, help
okay,
onboard them.
So Fortnite, for people that aren't familiar, it's a game that got really popular several years back. It's still pretty
It's a
popular.
video game.
It is like a third-person shooter game. It's called Battle Royale, which is what most people play, which is where everyone's like
A
last
third-person shooter
standing.
game is where you see your character on screen and they have a gun. And Battle Royale means kill everybody else
Okay.
and stay alive.
But the big part about the game, like the game is free. The way the company makes money is they sell, you can buy digital items in like the shop. A lot of the items are what they call skins, which is just different characters you can play as. So you can play as like an army dude.
Or a banana.
Yeah, or a banana. Or like a ninja girl. Or like whatever. There's like a million of them.
A rainbow unicorn with a cape.
With NFTs, it brings up some interesting possibilities. Maybe Fortnite wouldn't want to do this because it might not be a monetary incentive for them to do this, but maybe it will exist elsewhere. You could say like, all right, here's a rare outfit. We can prove that there will only ever be one of these.
Or 10. That's still
Or
pretty
10.
non-fungible.
Yeah,
that's like part
it's
of the
one of a set.
non-fungible.
Yeah, it doesn't have
combo.
to just be one. It could be 10. There's only ever going to be 10, but then you could go even deeper, okay? And be like, can we sell them to each other though? Basically,
or like a player who's an artist, maybe there's like some open source opportunity that Fortnite puts out there. I think they'd be stupid not to. Here's why. They should.
I think it gets complicated because
listen,
what's
they should
their...
do some like open source, like, hey, here's some code to make a skin. Like, have at it, go for it. You're welcome to sell your non-fungible token, your skin on our marketplace. We're going to take a % of what you make.
But couldn't they say it's rare and then they go and make 10 more that like has, it's the exact same thing? Like,
yeah, you're suspicious.
So I'm still suspicious, but I think it's got promise.
But I think that blockchain technology is the answer to that. I mean, it's on the ledger. There's ways to verify if there's more than one. You will never verify if that art print you bought at that outdoor festival is one of a kind. You will never know.
Monet.
I think that as we increasingly live in a digital world, I mean, we already do. Like, so much of our socializing, our branding, our shopping is already online. So we live in a digital world.
Yeah, I mean, I think the younger, quote unquote, generations.
I mean, they don't,
This is
guys,
like-
they don't watch sports. They watch video games.
I mean, it's
and
just
they
funny
watch
how much of a
esports.
no-brainer things that are only in the digital world
So when you think about like
makes sense to like
worlds
younger
like-
kids.
I mean, I'm not saying that we live in Ready Player One, and I don't really want to. It's sad. It's like the bad parts of Wall-E. But
Well, not everyone was.
I am
Anyway.
saying that our notions of like ownership and self-expression are beginning to transcend the tangible. If I was able to own a rare copy of, let me think of something that I love, like a rare piece of art from one of my favorite bands, like their vinyl. Like if I could have it physically, that'd be cool. If I could have it digitally, I would never lose it. It would never burn in a fire. I would never like have to figure out where to display
And
it.
you saw that thing that the Kings of Leon did with so they're a band and they did like an NFT album, but apparently like not only is it like digitally signed by them or whatever, but also it gives people that buy it like there's like not very many copies of it, lifetime concert tickets.
Yeah, you can like,
Like
because that's
you
part of the
you can
smart
put
contract.
in things like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can have like exclusive
So that
content that
gets
once it hits your
really-
wallet, it unlocks.
It really gets interesting.
that cool?
Yes.
And so
It's
yes,
also going to
I-
make people harder to scalp tickets for concerts, and like
Yeah,
NFTs
I
really
am
present
so
some
excited about
really
that.
interesting things, like where you can only like you could write into the contract it can only be sold at this price.
Yeah, but I want to like.
know?
I also anyone who's like that's so stupid though. Like, why would I pay for a JPEG? I'm like, okay, well there are people who are buying like rare forks on eBay for like millions of dollars.
Jesus shaped guys. If you haven't gone on eBay and searched for rare Cheetos and seen the amounts of money that people
Rare
are trying to get for
Cheetos.
these things,
Please
please
do it.
Please go.
And that's Cheetos with no E. Cheetos, T-O-S. So what did we learn today, family? Non-fungible tokens are unique items that exist in a digital space. It's cool because they are privy to smart contracts, which means that you don't need a third party there to like invoke legal proceedings if things don't go right. If things don't go right, it just doesn't show up in your wallet.
I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes. Maybe we'll touch on this and like down the road, like see where we're at with the whole NFT craze.
But like imagine if
we're
you could buy
obviously
like
learning a lot about it
a
still.
custom banner for your Twitter page, or like buy a custom mood or theme for your Facebook page. You know, like that's what we're talking about.
I think it's definitely going to get digital artists that have previously been like unknown or not well known, at least.
Yeah.
Really like entering more conversations, like having a seat at the table, at the art table.
And I'm all
You
for
know,
that.
That's so cool.
Ooh, talk pity to me.
Are you still with us? Are you still listening? We would like to send you $5 in Bitcoin via Cash App. Here's how this is going to work. Go follow us on Instagram at TalkBittyToMe. The first 15 people that send us a DM on TalkBittyToMe with their Cash App tag, will receive $5 in Bitcoin from us. You can add it to your current Biddy stash, or it can be the first Bitcoin that you own, but we want to pay it forward. So talk Biddy to me on Instagram. See you there. Thanks for listening to this episode of Talk Bitcoin to Me. You can find any information and links that we mentioned in the show notes below. Keep an eye out for our next podcast by following us on Twitter at
Talk Biddy to me.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. Why are you trying to sound like a robot?
It's like a hip hop song.
No.
Talk Biddy to me.
Please stop.